Welcome back to the Rock Newman Show, Saturday, March the 9th, 2013. And I want to jump right into this. I want to give you a number to call to participate in today's program. It's 202-889-9797. And let me slow that down. The number to call in to participate in today's program, 202-889-9797. We have an interesting segment here. I have in studio Angelo Carusone. Angelo Carusone is vice president for a company called Media Matters. And I think that's kind of self-explanatory, Media Matters. And Angelo went out, and you can explain how, whether this is personally or how you got involved in doing this. But you have an issue with Macy's organization, Macy's stores, and their relationship with Donald Trump. And you've gone out and you've started a petition drive that I think at last count from your suggestion was somewhere, you have somewhere north of 400,000 signatures that are supporting your efforts to get Macy's to disassociate itself with Donald Trump. First, let me welcome you to the Rock Newman Show. And secondly, let me ask you, why did you pick that fight with a giant like Donald Trump?
Well, I mean, really, as much as Donald Trump wants to make this about him, it's much more about Macy's and their decision. This was right at the height. This was right around the end of October, and this was at the height of the birther sort of chicanery that Trump had been, pushing for over a year at that point. He had been, at that point, advocating that the president release another round of documents in exchange for $5 million to charity. It was pure chicanery. And when I looked at Trump, I was frustrated by what was going on. It's clearly an effort to get publicity and commercialize himself. I came across a letter from Macy's CEO to Donald Trump, and it concluded by saying, "Don't give up the real estate business yet, but we are developing a meaningful fashion business with your brand." And I thought about that because to me, Trump's brand is bigoted bullying. It's consequence-free bullying.
Did you say bigoted bullying?
Yes. And it's not the kind of thing that you associate with, investing in and further developing. And it's certainly not consistent with my own experiences at Macy's. I mean, they spend a lot of money to inject themselves in our holidays, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And when I thought about Macy's brand and I thought about Trump's brand, they just seemed inconsistent to me. And so I started a petition asking them to reconsider their decision to further invest in Donald Trump's brand.
We also have on the line from Donald Trump's office. We contacted the Donald's office yesterday and asked for Donald to come on himself. To my understanding, he was quite gracious and said that he would like to do it. He couldn't do it. He just recently bought the Doral golf course in Florida. They had a huge event today that included Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson and celebrities and other golfers from around the world. But the gentleman who has now threatened to sue you on behalf of the Trump organization, Alan Gaston. Alan Gaston is a renowned attorney and considered to be Donald's chief litigator. Angelo Carusone says that the Donald Trump brand is about, I don't want to put words in your mouth, you said bigoted bullying?
Correct.
Bigoted bullying. Alan Gaston, welcome to the Rock Newman Show. Please respond.
Hey, Rock, thanks for having me on the show. And, I need to say I couldn't disagree more. The Donald Trump brand is about, first of all, it's an American success story. It's about the building of a very successful company. It's about the American dream. But it's about building that American dream and that success through, first and foremost, real estate. I mean, that's what the brand is all about. It's about quality real estate. It's about residential properties. It's about first-class hotel properties that win, awards in Chicago and Las Vegas and New York as some of the best hotels in the world. That's where Donald Trump made his brand. That's the foundation for it. True. He has since expanded that brand to include entertainment and The Apprentice and apparel and things like that. But to say that Donald Trump built his brand on bigotry, I mean, Rock, I think you know Donald Trump. and Donald Trump is no bigot, he's no racist. Yet that's what the accusations are. So, Mr. Carusone basically says this is not about Donald Trump; it's about Macy's. But this is all about Donald Trump, and it's about Mr. Carusone basically trying to, suppress Donald Trump's free speech rights. And Mr. Carusone claims to be a proponent of the First Amendment and free speech. Yet what he's trying to do is hypocritical, because what he's trying to do is exactly the opposite. He's trying to suppress free speech by targeting Mr. Trump's business partners and pressuring them through, and I said it in my letter, bullying and mob-like tactics to get them to drop his brand. And Mr. Trump, just like Mr. Carusone, has a First Amendment right to say what is on his mind. That's what this country was founded upon, and that's what makes shows like yours so incredible. People can come on your show, they can explore different beliefs, they can discuss things that not everyone's going to agree with, but that's his right, just as it's Mr. Carusone's right. And I think it's highly hypocritical for Mr. Carusone, to claim on the one side to be, a First Amendment proponent, and on the other hand, trying to suppress Mr. Trump's free speech rights.
Alan, just a moment. Mob-like behavior, Don Corleone Carusone.
Well, that's it. I mean, clearly my name sort of has multiple vowels in it and a couple extra syllables. So calling me mob-like it seems to be appropriate, and it's quite consistent.
You got to be kidding me.
It's quite consistent with. Excuse me, Mr. Garten. You're an attorney. You know how to be quiet when someone else is speaking. And what I would say is that it's quite consistent with what Mr. Trump's brand has become. I'm not making a characterization of Trump's brand 10 years ago or 5 years ago. That's really irrelevant and not part of the discussion here. What the discussion is what Donald Trump's brand has become. And in some ways, he needs to keep upping the ante to get his free media fix. And that's why it has become consistently more odious and contemptible. And my point is not that Donald Trump should be sanctioned or silenced by the government, which is what you threatened to do to me, is to actually tell the government to stop me and silence me and punish me. My point was simply that a company that I and 690 other thousand people support and like should not be investing in, and as the CEO said, further developing that brand. Because Trump's brand is not something worth pouring more money into. And if he's as successful as you pointed out before, that I don't see, A, what the problem is. He could easily go someplace else, unless, of course, there are concerns that his brand has become something so toxic that nobody else is really interested in it, at least at a fashion level.
Alan, let me ask you this. Obviously, Donald threw himself in the middle of the most recent presidential campaign. And he had threatened in the past to run for president. Obviously, he is a marketing genius. Do you think that it at all has been a misstep for him to be as vocal as he has been about Obama and the whole birther issue, which drew so much criticism? How do you guys feel about that as an organization?
Well, Rock, I'll address that in a second, but before I do, let me just say, that if you go on Mr. Carusone's petition, he accuses Donald Trump of being a bigot and a racist. But from what I heard from the beginning of his comments, he just accused me of being a bigot and a racist. So I take great offense to that. But let me say, no, I don't think it was a misstep. Donald Trump has built his reputation as being an outspoken person, a person who speaks his mind, and a person who says things that maybe I think other people don't want to say or are too afraid to say. And he's got he's a successful guy. He's obviously one of the most well-known people in the world, and he's got the ability to say things that are on his mind. And again, that's what this country is all about. And we're kind of talking out of both sides here. On the one hand, we're saying free speech. On the other hand, we're saying, he shouldn't say this and he shouldn't say that. He's not walking into a movie theater and yelling fire. He's adding to the public dialogue. And there are people who agree with him and there are people who disagree with him. And that's fine. But to take the position that he shouldn't say this or he shouldn't say that is ridiculous. And one other, a comment that Mr. Carusone made, which is that I'm trying to use the government to suppress his to suppress his free speech. I don't know what he's talking about. I have no I haven't written to the government to stop it.
You want to explain that comment, Angelo?
If you threaten to sue someone for $25 million, that lawsuit would take place in a court of law, which would be a government agency. The punishment would be administered by the government. The sanction would be government, supported and provided. Bringing it into the legal system is asking, or even threatening to bring it into the legal system, is asking the government to explicitly suppress and stop and punish that kind of speech. I'm not telling Donald Trump that he can't go out there and say these odious and and this sort of this political chicanery. I mean, he can certainly do that. My point is simply that Macy's, and as a customer of Macy's or a former customer, I certainly have the right to do that. Should not be investing in, and as the CEO said, building that brand. It's just inconsistent.
What has been Macy's response to you?
Macy's response has been sort of mixed. I think that initially, I've handled this very decently. Every step of the way, I privately communicate with Macy's. I give them a heads up before I make any new adjustments, before I send an email out to the petition signers. I always offer to include a message from them. I've been very firm, though, that this is not the kind of thing that is consistent with Macy's. This is not the thing that they should be further investing in and developing. We've had decent conversations back and forth. But clearly, Mr. Trump is very litigious, and he does have a reputation for being a bit of a bully. And if I was Macy's, I'd recognize that I was walking a fine line, too, between, running the risk of somebody that has a demonstrated track record of volatility, and goodness knows what he would do to Macy's. I mean, he's been on Twitter for 5 days straight in a row calling me a dummy and stupid and a loser and all these other personal insults, none of which I've lobbed throughout any of this period in time.
You called him a racist and a bigot.
I'm speaking in reference to his brand, and I said his brand has become bigoted bullying, and I think that there's plenty of evidence to support that opinion, and I'm not alone here. There are 690 other 1,000 people that signed the exact same document that I put up there.
So you're saying now your numbers are now approaching 700,000 in terms of people that have signed the document against what is ultimately against the lightning rod here is Donald Trump.
Yes, correct. It is the lightning rod is Donald Trump's brand and Macy's decision to invest in and develop that. That's really what the issue is. And I think if they were just providing a shelf in their stores for him to sell his products, it'd be a very different relationship. But that's not what's going on here. What's going on here is that they've massaged that brand. They invest in it financially, advertisements. They help develop it. There's some creativity behind it. And I think that's really what issue here. It's not that they just provide a place for him to sell their products, but that they are an active participant in developing the Trump's brand. And if that's the case, then we should have a conversation about what Donald Trump's brand has become. And I'm not out there randomly saying that. I think there's good evidence to back up that it's become something quite contemptible.
Alan Garten, as lead litigator for the Trump organization, this obviously has gotten you guys' attention. What is why did you feel a need, and why did the Trump organization, why did Donald feel a need to threaten Mr. Carusone with a lawsuit?
Because Mr. Trump has spent his lifetime building his reputation and his brand. And again, people may agree with things he has to say and disagree, but we're not going to tolerate someone who just admitted on radio that he basically calls Macy's and basically urges them. It's one thing to get people to sign a petition. It's another thing to be calling his business partners and urging them to end their contractual relations. Rock, let me ask you a question. You've got advertisers in this show. How would you feel if Mr. Carusone turned his attention to you and didn't like what you said one day? So he started calling all your advertisers and all your business partners and saying, you should dump this guy. He's not worth, the time. Let me just say that, Mr. Carusone seems to be backtracking on this interview, and I find it very interesting because he's basically saying he's attacking Donald Trump's brand. But I'm looking at his petition is on signon.org, and basically it doesn't attack his brand. It says Donald Trump engages in especially unpleasant, nasty, and despicable behavior, and then accuses him of a lot of different things, which I won't go through here. He's not attacking his brand. He's attacking him personally. And we're not going to sit back, and certainly as Mr. Trump's litigation counsel, I'm not going to sit back and allow someone like Mr. Carusone to basically attack unfairly Mr. Trump's brand that he's spent a lifetime building and have him interfere with contracts that he has. No different, I'm sure, Rock, than you would. You spent your career building your name, your reputation, and if someone was taking shots at it and calling you business partners, you'd have a big problem. I really think what this is all about, and I think the more this whole kind of thing plays out, the more I'm reassured by it. This is all about Mr. Carusone to be honest, trying to make a name for himself, because he got this petition. He went after Macy's. It didn't go anywhere. The story kind of, flamed up and flamed out, and then it was it. And that was it. I sent Mr. Carusone a letter in late December, and you know what? I didn't leak it to the press. It didn't get any attention. And Mr. Carusone obviously feels the need to remain relevant. So you know what he did? He leaked the letter. He leaks the letter 2 months later. In February, he leaks the letter. And who does he leak it to? The Hollywood Reporter. Now, why would you leak a letter to the Hollywood Reporter for any reason other than the fact that you're trying to get media attention?
Okay, Alan, we're short on time. I want to give him a chance to respond in the
Sure.
last minute we have here.
Okay, so that's completely false. Someone sends me a legal threat threatening me $25 million. It takes me, as somebody that is not a billionaire or someone that claims to be a billionaire, the ability to just hire an attorney. I have to find someone to represent me for free. That actually took me almost 5 weeks. 5 weeks to find someone to represent me for free. And yes, I did issue a press release because 700,000 or nearly 700,000 people signed a letter, and I hadn't communicated with them in over 2 months, and I owed them. Many of them participated in it for 2 months before I had to go radio silent because of this legal threat. So if we're talking about suppressing free speech, it was the letter and the legal threat that forced me to be quiet for so long, and I wasn't just going to drop off the map. Those people contributed their efforts, their time, their resources, and I felt that it was important that I give them an update. And in order to give them an update, I had to necessarily go public with this. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It was your decision to send me that legal threat, and now you don't seem to really be standing by it. I don't see what the problem is then, unless, of course, you think it was a bad idea. And it's okay if you made a mistake on it.
Who said it's a bad idea? I stand by the letter 100%.
Okay.
The letter's completely accurate, and I find it interesting that you need to issue a press release through the Hollywood Reporter to communicate with your so-called supporters. By the way, Rock, just as an aside, Mr. Carusone has done this in the past with other outspoken political advocates, and people have repeatedly questioned the degree of his support. So he claims to have 650 or 700,000 supporters, but I severely doubt that. He had a protest in front of Macy's. I think he had 20 people show up, 10 of whom I think were paid by him.
Okay, I really appreciate both of you coming on, expressing your positions. Unfortunately, we can't solve this here. Maybe I'll have another show where we might be able to solve it. Again, thank you both for coming on. This is the Rock Newman Show.